welcome back. This is going to be the third excerpt from the Nowhere Girls, and it focuses on Nancy, um, one of the other girls in the book. Um, Nancy has given birth, come back to the home without her baby, and is in previous scene was reluctant to sign adoption papers, and now she's sort of um, in her room, and Rachel is talking to her. It's also Christmas Eve. You sure you're not hungry? Nancy's hand comes up and her fingers wrap around a strand of hair across her forehead. Move it to one side. She's looking out the window. Dinner wasn't very good anyway, I say. Mashed potatoes with the skin still on. Yuck. For a second, her eyes turn, her head moves back, as if mention of mashed potatoes with the skin still on has brought something to the surface of her mind. Then it sinks away. Your turn, I say. I'm pretending not to look at her cards spread out all over the bed. Her head flops over, peering. Jax? She whispers. Go fish. Outside the window, the trees are shifting around, now blotting out a light, someone's porch light maybe, or a far off street light, now letting it shine. It's like being on a ship, a lighthouse blinking in the distance. Nancy's fingers stretch around a card and draw it up, the jack of clubs. She fumbles among the piles on the bed. Here, I smooth everything out, putting the card with the jack of diamonds, which she already has, nudging the piles into shape, turning juggled cards right side up. The strand of hair has come back to the middle of her forehead. She has a faded white scar on the back of her hand like an old dog bite. Below that is a mark across her wrist, recent, like something was tied too tightly around it. Maybe the hospital bracelet. She watches me fumble with the cards. I'm going to get up tomorrow, she murmurs. It's all right, I say. Miss Patsy said there was nothing wrong with Nancy, nothing at all. She also said I wasn't to bring her anything to eat, not even a cookie. If she's hungry, she can come downstairs with the others. No, I'm going to get up. Tomorrow I'm going to get up. Her eyes are back looking at the blinking light out the window. I think of the highway again, cars on it, families, kids in the back, going somewhere. The road, a star, an airplane actually rising above it. Is it cold outside? She asks. Not too bad, like usual. I pick a card, the ace of spades. Are you cold? No. You want to sleep? We don't have to keep playing. It's all right. I don't mean to be such a bother. It's not a bother. Miss Patsy's mad at me. Who cares what she thinks, I say. Nancy's hand moves along the bedspread among the cards. I said I was going to sign the papers, she says. It wouldn't be fair to say I was going to sign and not sign, would it? No, I discard the ace of spades. It wouldn't be fair. But I realized I kind of hoped she was going to anyway. She's looking up at me, her eyes wide open now. Were you married? She asked. No. I got married. My father stopped us at the courthouse. He got it annulled. Boy, he couldn't stand Paul. Her head tilts back, a small smile turning up the corners of her mouth. She asks again, amazed, like she's never heard of people not being married. You were married? No. Was that before or... No, it was after we knew about the baby, me and Paul, and then my father showed up. She shrugs, making her arms flop like sticks. I just waited after that. One day I was out in the yard in the morning. I could hardly hide by then. I had to wear a sweater all the time. I was feeding the dogs and filling up the water bowls. We're a little ways out of town and we have all these dogs. And I thought, there's no way out now. You'll just have to go through with it. She turns her head on the pillow again, looking out the window. Part of the lamp was reflected in it, a yellow half circle beneath the lampshade. It's old, paint peeling off. All the rooms here are decorated with second-hand thrift store stuff, and the walls have pictures of kittens playing with puppies, or little plaques with cute sayings. There's one in my room that says, smile. It was easier after that, once I knew that, Nancy said. Nothing they said could really bother me. I look at my cards. I want to ask her about the hospital, about the baby, if she saw it. Her lips are dry, flaked around the edges with a necklace of deep red marks, clotted blood where her teeth must have ground down in pain. Did they let you see her? A smile like the smile when she mentioned Paul comes back over her face. She was tiny, just a tiny thing, all red with fists like that. Her fists come up, pale white, the knuckles clenched tight. They let me pick her up every day. She turns her head, mumbling, "You know I was going to hold her. You know if I was there, I was going to hold her." The floor creaks. Nancy's roommate has come upstairs. She hesitates, looking at us, then crosses over to the dresser and opens the top drawer, looking through it for something, sniffling loudly. I fold up my hand and begin to put the cards away. "I could go down and get you something from the kitchen," I say, "a cup of tea or something." Nancy shakes her head. "I'm going to get up tomorrow."